In this video, I'm going to show you one way to use your water-glassed eggs. If you don't know how to water glass eggs, I will have a link for you in the description box below. There will also be a link to how many water-glassed eggs I can fit in a 5-gallon bucket. All the water-glassed eggs in this bucket, these have been in here for 10 months. These are 10 months old. If you saw another video of my water-glassed eggs, you will know that this bucket was full of the water-glassed eggs, and we've been using them. So again, these have been in here for 10 months. You see the lime water. So I've just been getting out about a dozen at a time. As soon as you are done removing your eggs, you want to wash your hands right away and your arm or any part of your body that came in contact with the lime water. I don't know how it is for everyone, but for me, the lime dries my skin out pretty bad. Makes it pretty itchy and tight. Now you can use your water-glassed eggs exactly as you would fresh eggs. Just make sure they are fully cooked. Alright, and then I just put my lid back on there. Just out of curiosity, let's do a temperature check on the water glass solution in here. I have this little laser temperature scanner. So it's showing 55.5 degrees. I'm actually trying to hit an egg. Yep, so it's consistently 55 degrees. Alright, now let's go do the next step. So I just take the eggs and I use both hands and I just gently rinse off and rub off the lime water. And I just put them in a carton here. The reason I rinse them off like this before using them is when you're rinsing them off, you can actually feel the lime water solution residue on the eggshell. But it's just a personal preference maybe. Oops, I cracked that one. Alright, it's just a personal preference to me. I believe that by rinsing them off, whenever you go to crack them, that you won't have that lime taste into your scrambled egg or whatever it is you're putting them in. We have our eggs, and I accidentally pressed too hard and cracked this one. I don't see the crack, but I heard the crack. It's right there. So here's some eggs that I had already done, and I had one yolk bust. It's perfectly fine. Now, what you want to do is, again, my water-glassed eggs have been in the water glass solution for 10 months, so not too far from being a year. So what you want to do is, just in case something went off with your eggs when you were storing them, so far I've not had anything go wrong ever, but I like to take precautions. So what I do is I just take my egg, crack it, and then I'll put it in its own little bowl. Okay, you can see the shell looks fine. And this is what it looks like, 10 months old here. It looks fine, and then I also smell it. And it smells fine, so then I dump it in there. Alright, and then I just continue that on until I have as many eggs as I need. Then of course I store in the fridge. Okay, and that one busted. It looks fine though, and it smells fine. And it is not common for me to actually have any busted yolks, but I normally don't have to store them for 10 months either. I think the longest I've ever gone has been 7 or 8 months maybe. So this is a little bit longer than usual. You can see this one looks good as well, and it smells fine. Okay, so that is 3, and then I did, I think, 5 earlier. Now this is the one that had cracked when I was rinsing it off. But it looks fine, and it smells fine. Okay. So again, I recommend doing that, and I also recommend that you fully cook your eggs just to be on the safe side. But again, I have never had any problems of any kind with water glassing eggs. Okay, so how I'm going to cook these is I'm going to scramble them. Now, unless the yolk is busted, you can actually just take the whole egg like you saw the unbusted ones and go ahead and fry them if you want. But I'm just going to scramble them. They're going to be part of my husband's breakfast for his work this week. And I just salt and pepper them and add just a little bit of water. I don't measure the water, I just add, I don't know, it might be a couple tablespoons of water if I had to guess. Now to know if your skillet is hot enough, just take a drop of the egg, put it on there, and you heard it sizzle and it went ahead and started to cook. So we're going to put eggs on here. And I'm just going to let them cook for a little bit. And I'm watching around the sides for whenever the egg starts to set and cook around the sides. And then I will start moving the egg around nonstop until they're done. I just made some sausage, so that's what this is on here. But this is my favorite thing to use when scrambling eggs. I don't really know why. I just love how it feels. But it's just a bamboo slotted spoon. I like that this little curve here and this little slanted area gets in the edges of the pan well. So I can see some of the egg cooking here on these 3 spots and also just barely underneath the surface. Just going to move it back a little bit. Almost there, just a little bit longer. And I'm cooking this on about a medium heat. Right now on my electric stove, it's about a 5.5. You can see it cooking right along here. Okay, now I'm going to start moving it. Okay. And just so you know, if I'm going to batch cook scrambled eggs using fresh eggs, I do this exact same thing. Nothing has changed. And the reason is because with water glassed eggs, they're fresh eggs basically. You can use them the exact same way that you would a freshly laid egg. You can scramble them, fry them, bake with them. Anything that you use a fresh egg for, do the same thing with the water glassed egg. Again, just make sure they are fully cooked. All right, and once they're about this stage to where they're almost done, I like to turn the oven off and just let the residual heat from the pan go ahead and finish them off while constantly stirring them around until I'm ready to take them out. All right, they are done. So that is how you can scramble your water glassed eggs. And again, you just use them as you would regular fresh eggs. Just make sure you rinse them off and you crack them into a separate bowl just to make sure that they're still okay, nothing happened to them while in storage, and cook them thoroughly. I'm just going to pour these into this big bowl, and I will mix up the sausage and cheese and hot sauce for my husband's breakfast for this week. And you can see the skillet nonstick, it did a good job. Thanks for watching.